another video. So this is part 2 of the air suspension build. If you guys want to see me install the airlift management, make sure you guys go ahead and check out the previous episode. But in this episode, we're going to be installing the air struts, which I'm super excited about because they're finally going to get this car back on the ground. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fitted Visions air struts right now. So again, the air struts did come with these dampener adjustment knobs, the fittings, these spanner wrenches. Look at this, guys. This is so nice. Brand spanking new. I'm so excited for this, guys. You guys don't even know. So I want to get these air struts in today. It is later on in the day. As you guys can see, the sun is starting to go down a little bit. So let's see if we can go ahead and install this before it gets dark, so that way I can show you guys the car laid out tonight. So first things first, we want to make sure that we install the air fitting. So make sure you take the one that's supplied with the kit and go ahead and tighten it on. The good thing about these fittings is they already have some sort of sealant on the threads, so you don't need to worry about adding your own sealant or putting on some Teflon tape. So we're going to install the dampener adjustment knob now. All you have to do is look at the top of your shock. There should be a hole. This literally slides right in. Straight out of the box is set to full soft. Again, this is user preference. I personally like to ride it on full soft because it's not as stiff on the rebound as like a coilover. So go ahead and set it to how you want it to be. Again, this is all user preference. So let's go ahead and remove the last of these lug nuts. Get this tire off. Now to remove the shock is fairly simple, especially on the S chassis. You have this one bolt down here. I believe it's a 17 millimeter. Yep, 17 millimeter, and then you have the two nuts holding up the shock on the top. Then you come up top and you can see you can remove. It fell out, but that's pretty much it. We're gonna go ahead and stick the bag right in here. How's it going, baby?
Good.
Got it?
Yeah. Oh, I still have my mask on.
Going good?
Mm-hmm.
So Kaylee's helping me screw it on right now.
How long is this thing gonna go?
That's good enough for now. So I'm gonna show you guys how I like to set my ride height. I like to leave the airline off. I'm gonna go ahead and install the bag at whatever it was set at, and then I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the hub and compress the bag, because ideally you want to be at 0 at the lowest height, if that makes sense. So meaning when you air out the car, you want it to be 0 air in the bag, and then you're gonna adjust the height on your lower mount. So ideally you want to do this with the set of wheels that you're going to be using, so that way you can adjust for fitment. Pretty much what you want to do is you want to jack the hub up so that way it's fully decompressed, meaning there's 0 pressure in the bag. And then you want to go ahead and set the strut or the shock body length to your desired like aired out height. Now the reason why I say you want to use your wheels that you're going to be setting fitment for is because that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to set the fitment with the wheels that you want at your aired out height. That's just how I do it. There's other people that do it differently, but I feel like that's the best way. Essentially, you want there to be 0 pressure in your bags when you're fully aired out. That gives you the most travel, in my opinion, or my experience, I should say. So I was able to get this side in, as well as this side in. Pretty simple. So we're gonna go ahead and run some airline now that we got the rear installed. Luckily the suspension management that we bought from Chris still had the airlines attached, and those are already cut to S chassis length, so we're just gonna go ahead and reuse those. I will have to cut them probably because of the way that the setup is on the S13 versus the S14, but it's typically okay to run or reuse airline as long as there's no cuts or kinks in the line. So these are the airlines right here. They're really long. I think I could just use one and cut it in half for the rear, since the struts are just literally right next to the management. So anytime that you cut your airline, you want to make sure that you use an airline cutter. The reason being is because if you use something like a scissors or like a pliers or something to cut the line, it's going to change the shape of the actual airline, and by that meaning is like it needs to be a circle. If you go ahead and change it and you pinch the line, when you go ahead and plug it into the manifold, you're more prone to leaking. So luckily, if you buy an airlift set, it actually comes with an airline cutter. This is what an airline cutter is, guys. So I have this super long airline, and again, I'm probably going to need like half of this. So let me go ahead and find half, and I'm going to show you guys how to cut the line. So I found about half. Now the way that this works is you literally just place it flat and you pinch it down. Now the middle is going to be a point, and that's going to pierce the line and create the cut, versus you pinching down on the line to create the cut. So that point is going to pierce the line and cut it in half. So when you come to the tank, if you guys can see, there's markings on it. So this is your tank for T, exhaust. This is where the air comes out when you air it out. You have your rear right, rear left, front right, front left. So since we're going to be doing the rears, we want these two ports right here. So you literally just push it in the hole and pull it to lock it in place, and then you do the same with the other one. Push it in and pull it out, and now it's good to go. So now that we have the lines running to the manifold, we just got to route it to the outside to the struts. So I decided that I'm going to use this hole right here, a drain hole that leads to above the gas tank, and I'm just going to route my line out this hole to each bag. So if you can see that sunlight, that's exactly where the hole is that I'm going to be using. So let me go ahead and route my airlines through here. So if you can see, I got my airline running from the top of the gas tank. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and secure the line to the chassis, so that way we don't have to worry about it, you know, touching the exhaust or ripping off the ground or something like that. So yeah, let me go ahead and plug this in, and then we can work on the other side. So more good news is Christine actually got me a replacement battery while I was out at work. So now I can go ahead and properly test out the system. Let me go ahead and put this in the car now. All right, we got the new battery in. Let's go ahead and start this car up. Oh, yes. Okay guys, the car is kind of loud, but I'm gonna go ahead and air the car out. It isn't fully like adjusted. I kind of just got it on the car so we can go ahead and check to see if everything's working, especially the compressors. So let me go ahead and air it out right now and see where it's at. Oh, I wasn't even recording. Watch this, guys. Watch. Yo, that's freaking sick. Check this out. That's freaking cool. So I'm super stoked that we were able to get the rears in before it got too dark. I wanted to do the fronts in that same time frame, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So we're gonna go ahead and wait till the morning to work on the front. Luckily for you guys don't have to wait that long, because we're gonna go ahead and start on that right now. Day number 2, guys. Let's go ahead and prep the front so that we can go ahead and install them on the car. So one thing I should mention is that these are aluminum, so make sure that you go ahead and hand tighten the fitting as much as possible before you go ahead and tighten it down with your wrench. Reason being is because aluminum is actually really easy to strip out, and you do not want to strip out the threads. That's gonna suck. So it's pretty simple, guys. We're gonna go ahead and remove the shock. You need to go ahead and take off these 17 millimeters here. They're not in bolt. And then there's a 14, 3 nuts up top. So I love working on 240s because it's actually super easy and simple to remove and replace a lot of parts on this chassis. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the shock. All you have to do is take off these 2 17 millimeter nut and bolt right here, and then up top you got the 3 14 millimeter nuts, and that's it. So let's go ahead and take it off right now. Here we go. So you want to look at the orientation of your top hat versus the hole. If you notice, this is the same orientation. The reason why you want it to be this way is because of the camber plate. You want it to be able to slide forward and back to adjust the camber. If you put it like this, some people actually run it like this, and they say it's good for a caster and stuff like that, but I never tried it that way, and typically I run it this way, so I'm gonna run it this way with the camber plate for a camber adjustment. So to set the front up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the wheel on, I'm gonna jack it up to air the bag out, and I want the wheel to come right before I touch the wheel well. Let me show you guys. So I have the jack under the wheel. I'm just gonna jack it up until it bottoms out. So this is good because I actually have room for the bag to deflate more, which means that I can lengthen the shock so that way I can get more travel out of the airbag versus me leaving it like this and airing out and I still have like 30-40 psi left in the bag. Hopefully you guys understand. Let me go ahead and dial in the shock just a little bit more. Here we go, take two, guys. I went ahead and lengthened the shock by around 10 rotations to make it longer. Let's see how the clearance is now. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a little bit of a clearance gap now. It's about an inch clearance. In the beginning, if I should come down around 3 to 5 spins just to get that little extra low. So I'm gonna be running Meteor set up in the front, so I want that little bit of clearance. So I think I'm gonna be leaving it like that, but also because in case something happens with the airbags or the management malfunctions or something and the car airs out and not able to air up, I want there to be a little bit of clearance so the tire can still roll. So about an inch or so from the top should be fine on full air out, especially with how low the car is already. So I'm gonna go ahead and double check everything and then we can run some airlines. All right, guys, so I got the lines ran. So it goes through the back seat, under the back seat. It goes under the carpet here, along this section right here. And it goes out through the firewall. And then I got it through that hole right there. And it's connected right here. I'm just gonna figure this out later. Might leave it like this, might not. I don't know yet. But anyway, let's go ahead and put the tires on and get this car on the ground. All right, now we should be able to start the car up, let the tank fill up, and then fill up the bags and then put it on the ground. So I hope you guys can hear me, but this is fully aired up. It's actually pretty tall. The rear, I believe, is about fully aired up as well. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and air it out right now. It's gonna be my first look. We're gonna start off with the rear and then we're gonna do the front. That's so crazy, guys. Yo. So one thing that I had to keep in mind was that I do have a pretty aggressive kit and it does hang kind of low. So it may not seem like the car is on the ground right now, but when I put the kit on, I can adjust it to, you know, where I want it to be. But for now, I think this is the perfect height. It's actually pretty even. If you can look at the body line, it looks pretty straight. So I think I did pretty good on the first try. So I'm pretty happy about that. Dude, I'm so stoked this car is bagged. Like, I didn't think I was gonna bag this car, to be honest. But when Fitted Visions hit me up, I was like, you know what? Might as well. The rest of my cars are bagged. We might as well bag this one too. So again, guys, we have another drift car, Christine's car. We're gonna be taking that out soon too. So make sure you guys are excited for that. Guys, I'm just so stoked. I'm so stoked on how this car is coming along. Just stick along for the journey because this car is gonna look totally different. I know it looks a little rough right now, but trust me, guys. Trust the process. We got this, all right? Now that we got the air suspension in the car, now it's time to work on fitment and dialing the fenders and stuff like that. So we're gonna be doing that next. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I wanna give a big shout out to Fitted Visions for believing in us and supporting us here on the channel. If you guys need anything from them, I'll leave their links down in the description down below. Appreciate you guys supporting what we do here on the channel. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. It really, really helps us out. It helps people find out who we are at carshopbloom.com, and it helps build our community here that we have on the channel. Again, guys, make sure you guys stay tuned for the next one. Peace out and stay good.